Hi, I'm Kathy Lincoln. I'm coming to you from Artistic Artifacts. I'm a BERNINA Ambassador, and I would love to introduce you to the Q20 and its little sister, the Q16. They are the most wonderful little machines. Let me put this back on the main screen. And we can, I want to talk to you about all the options you have with this machine. You have 3 cabinet options. You have this cabinet, which is a lovely cabinet that is a fixed 29 inches. It can open up, and you can have storage, and you also can put in leaves here. Those leaves are stored in the back of the cabinet. You also have the same option with leaves and extra space and an elevated cabinet. So in case you're a tall person and this is too low for you, you can adjust it and it will make your life a lot simpler. There's also a folding table option, and that option allows you to put it all away and keep it in a small space. I don't know why you would put it away, but okay, you could try that.
I have mine on a folding table and it never gets folded up. But okay, there we go.
Yes. Also, this machine has a built-in BSR. You can see the little windows here. That is your BSR.
Okay, hold on, let me catch up to you. What does BSR mean?
It's BERNINA Stitch Regulator.
It's an awesome tool.
And it is wonderful. And on this machine you have 3 options. You have BSR 1, which means the needle is going continuously up and down. BSR 2 is when your hands stop, the needle stops. BSR 3 is basting mode. You can baste your quilt on this machine. And then if you don't want to use any of those options, you have a manual mode. You also have your personal settings, and you have a bobbin warning system, so when your bobbin is getting low, it will start flashing at you. You can also change and adjust your tensions as necessary, and you can adjust your speed and your stitches per inch. You have total control, and that is a wonderful thing. Also, because the BSR is built in, that means you can use rulers with your BSR. On your regular machines that have BSR, you cannot use your rulers because it is a low profile foot instead of a high profile foot.
Okay, let me just, the foot is a little in, yeah, put it down against the table. There we go. Okay, there we go.
So you can see it's a high profile versus a very low profile.
Yes. And why is that important when you're using rulers?
You don't want to accidentally slip this foot underneath a ruler. Let me show you. Let me put this foot down. If this were to slip underneath the ruler, your needle would hit the ruler and you could throw the timing of your machine completely off.
Ooh, that's bad.
That would be an ugly event.
Okay.
So having this built in means you have a lot more flexibility. The other thing this machine has going for it that's very different from a lot of other long arm machines or mid arms is that it will use standard needles. You have that means you'll have full range of all the needles. You can have your microtex, you can have your top stitch, you can use your ball point if you're working on silks. You have the full range of all the needles you could ever want, and you don't have to get anything special. They're all available at all times. Okay, so let's go over threading. I'm going to just go ahead and cut this and pull this. Whoops, let me raise up my foot. You have to make sure your foot is up just like it always. You're going to put your thread on your left spool. You'll come down underneath.
Follow the arrows.
Yeah. Yeah. It goes underneath here.
It's a little shadowy, so
yeah, there we go.
Also...
There we go. Over here.
All right, hold on, let me get there.
Okay. Get the chair out of your way.
All right. Oops, sorry. Got a little bit of airplay there.
And then you follow it down underneath, whoops.
Another hook.
There we go. And then you thread it through the take-up lever. And I just have to make sure my bifocals are working.
I would just love that one to be a slip-in.
Me too.
But it works.
Yeah. There we go. And down and through the thread guide, through another thread guide, and then with this machine you also have your semi-automatic needle threader.
Ooh, love that!
And it is perfect. That's the hardest part. And then you have a thread cutter up here to get rid of all the extra stuff. Now, to get your bobbin, which is in here, and it is a front-loading bobbin.
Looks just like my domestic machine one.
And it's an enormous bobbin. It will hold a boatload of thread. So you're going to put it in.
I'll get a better view.
And then underneath the tensioner, just like your regular machine.
There you go.
And then it just goes in. You hear that snap, you know you're in. You have a thread cutter, and you close the door.
That's so easy.
No fancy having to working over crazy times over underneath. Okay, so, whoops. Does help not to catch the fabric in. Okay, got lots of loose threads here.
All right.
So,
we're gonna see this baby in action.
yes.
All right.
So, let's talk about the different BSRs.
Okay, let me come this way.
BSR 1 is where the needle is continually going up and down. Now, I have adjusted the speed here. If you want to go back to the default, anything that's circled in yellow, if you touch it, it goes back to the default. BSR 2, you can adjust your stitch length, and BSR 1 is really good for points, if you want to have sharp points. BSR 2 is really good for curved loop-de-loops and circles.
That's why I like that status book.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then BSR 3 is the basting mode, and you have 1 stitch per inch, 2 stitches per inch, or 4 stitches per inch to choose from. So let's look at see what that looks like. And as always, you're going to bring up your bobbin thread. So you put your foot down. You can use the heel back kick of your foot pedal, just like on your regular machine. It has a smart pedal, because you really don't want the bobbin thread in the back to be all snarly and nasty, not even when you baste. So this is at 1 stitch per inch, which means you have to move the fabric.
Can everybody see the lights underneath the fabric? That's the BSR working, the laser.
And I'm not getting it to pull up. But let's see, let's go to 2 stitches per inch. There we go. I think that's a better basting anyhow. And my favorite is the 4 stitches per inch, because that just
I actually used the basting stitch with a size 12 Wonderful cotton thread, and it gave me, I did it as a finishing. I did it on top of something that kind of looked like a sashiko stitch type of, or hand stitching. It looked really nice on the quilt I did it on.
That sounds cool. Okay, so let me grab my scissors and pull this up. So you can easily baste, and you can be straighter than this, but you know nothing works perfectly when you're trying to do something.
It's basting.
It's basting, and it's going to come out anyhow, intentionally. So I am now going to go to BSR 1.
Let me just show them that. You're in BSR 1.
And I'm going to bring up my bobbin thread and raise up my foot, grab it all down below here, put it back down, put it back down. And now I can play with sharp points. The reason why this works for sharp points is because you voluntarily stop, but the needle doesn't stop when you get to a point, and so it will put that extra stitch in. And so that's how you can get these nice sharp points, because you don't know you're doing it, but you stop and the needle's still going, and it puts an extra stitch there, so you get a nice sharp point.
Oh my God, I learned something again this morning.
Okay, BSR 2. Now I must tell you that I'm a curly girl. I like to do all kinds of swirls and whirls, and this is my comfort zone. And this is my get her done stitch. Edge to edge. And I like this BSR better than on my 880 because it doesn't yell at me.
Oh, no alarm.
No alarm, because it will go up to 2,000 stitches a minute. Unlike my regular one, which starts screaming at a whole lot less than that. So we have our BSR 1, we have our BSR 2, we have our BSR 3. But let's think about ruler work.
Rulers?
Rulers.
We talked about rulers. Good. Now we get to see them?
Yes. There's all kinds of rulers out there, but you're going to want to use a ruler foot. So I need to cut this. And you can see the back side.
Okay, hold on. Let's see the back side.
Look how beautiful that is.
Oh my gosh.
And I wasn't going slow, and I didn't get any eyelash around these curves. You know how sometimes you get eyelash?
Oh yeah, they get eyelash.
But not with this machine, because it is really well done. So let's take off the foot.
And the foot operates just like our Bernina domestic machine. See that?
Yep.
Very easy.
Unless you can't see what you're doing. There we go.
Yeah. Okay.
So, now, the reason you have this ruler foot is because when let me put it down, you can see. It rides right along the ruler. It is not going, it's thick enough that it's not going to ride up over the top of the ruler, and it's not going to go underneath the ruler. So this is why you can't use the regular foot.
Oh.
Because if that rides underneath there and that needle goes there,
yikes,
you're going to have a problem. And this is why this is really cool on this machine, because this is the same height as your regular BSR foot. And therefore, if you were using it on your 880 or 790 or 770, it would slide right underneath your rulers, and you would have a big problem. We don't want problems. We really don't like problems. So,
Linda Cooper, good to see you too. Yeah, I'm thinking you need one of these.
So I'm going to go ahead and bring up my bobbin thread. I'm going to put my foot back down.
KK, and you too.
Okay. So you literally can just use your ruler. And you don't need to turn your fabric. If you need to stop and extend, you can. Wow. Now you have markings on your rulers, and you can then go back. So I'm going to go, let's see, I'm going to go up, these are, and I think you can barely see them, they're 1/4 inch markings.
Show us again.
This
Oh, it's hard.
It's really hard. Yeah.
Okay. Trust her on this one.
So I'm going to line up my line on my previous stitching. And because the foot itself is a 1/4 inch, you end up with a 1/2 inch, because you can see that the needle is a 1/4 inch from each side of the foot. So you can get perfect cross hatching.
Wow.
Or you can have even more fun. I'm going to go back to this other side because I want to go in the other direction. So let me go up here and go just one more stitch. There we go. Because not only can you do straight lines, you can do all kinds of wonderful curved lines as well. So I'm going to do a little clamshell.
We do have these Bernina rulers in stock, and the ruler feet. I'm pretty sure we have the ruler feet.
Yep. And so now I'm going to do a 1/2. Make sure my needle is down. Go back over here. Think how cute this would be on a baby quilt. Okay, whoops.
I'm just amazed at how easy it is.
And then you can do another 1/2 and then go back up. Whoops. Drop your needle. There we go. One more. And you do have 1 stitch control with this foot because it's that smart pedal. And you just, I mean, I could do this all day long. I don't think you want me to do it all day long, but yes, I could do this all day long. So, and that is actually quite nice looking.
It is wonderful. Wow. That's amazing. But, you know, I like the corkscrews. Sorry.
Yeah. This is my favorite. And this is, you know, I do this a lot.
Well, you just explained why I like one BSR mode over another one. Because I always go to the one that you say makes better circles because I'm a circle girl.
Yeah.
But now I know how to use the other BSR mode better. That is awesome. I haven't seen too many questions, and I know Chris is online too. Do we have any questions for Kathy while we have her pinned to the chair? So, I'm seeing who's watching, but...
I mean, I can show you the manual mode too.
Okay. And why would we want to use a manual mode?
Because you could just have a good old time doing fun stuff.
Oh,
okay. and you can go really fast.
Oh, okay.
So let me go to manual mode. And I don't really need to change my foot because this foot is still a free motion foot.
Got you.
So in manual mode, I can go anywhere. I mean, the default is 1,000 stitches, but I can go up to 20. I can go up to 2,200.
Okay, see that? All right.
Now that's really, really fast. That's even fast for me.
That's fast for you. Uh-oh. Okay.
So I am just going to move it up to about 1,200.
1,200.
Well, maybe 1,250.
You go pretty fast.
That's 1,300 actually. Okay, so let me just move myself over here. And because I'm in BSR, Now it's not adjusting because the BSR is turned off. You don't see those little red lights.
Okay, so manual is the BSR is off and you're controlling your stitch.
And you are your own BSR.
You are my own. Okay, but I'd rather use the BSR. All right, so Suzanne has a question about thread.
Yes.
Using different threads. Can you use different thicknesses of threads for different effects?
Absolutely.
Yes, for sure.
Absolutely.
Anything that works in your domestic machine works on this machine.
Yes.
Right?
You can adjust your upper tension. There is a little tool that helps you make sure your bobbin case is at the right tension.
That's right, the magic tool. That I recommend if you're using one of these machines, you use that tool for.
Do we have it in the box here?
Yes, I think we do. We'll show you that.
Let me grab that out. Yes, because you absolutely have total control.
And you do have to do some adjustment even on your domestic machine when you're using a different thread on the top than you are on the bottom. So.
And I almost always, let's see, is it hiding over?
It's probably in the
box. Right here. It's right here. So I almost always, I can't think of a time I haven't used a much lighter weight in the bobbin because I want my bobbin full.
Right. Yes.
So and then the and so that's going to be a little bit different.
All right. Carol, the difference is on the Q20 and the Q16. So let's see if you can see. Do you see from the foot to the back? All right. So
from
here's
here
Kathy
to
is
there.
the foot, and there's going back. So this is 20 inches. And on a Q16, that's going to be 16 inches. That's a good question. So you're losing about 4 inches of space between your needle and the back. Okay. All right. So show us this.
Okay. So this little tool is how you can adjust your bobbin case. And every time you wind a new bobbin, you should check it. And it's going to, let me grab out the bobbin here.
Even if it's the same thread that you just used.
Yes.
I recommend doing that. Yes.
It's just one of those little, it takes you like 10 seconds. Oops, I got to leave it in the case. Well, never mind.
Yeah. Let's forget that part.
Yeah.
There's directions. Don't worry. There's directions. I still pull the directions out. But
Okay.
I find that this really increases your success.
And you follow around here, and then you, whoops, that's the cutter. You don't want to cut.
Not yet, anyway.
And it should pull. It's pulling a little high.
Yeah.
But it was working really well.
Right. So it should be like 220.
220 millonewtons.
Millonewtons?
Yeah, I don't know who came up with that.
220 is a number you
220
can see on
is
the
just got a.
scale.
But this is a much lighter thread than this thread.
Right.
So that's probably why it was working so well.
Okay.
Because my back is just as pretty as my front.
That was planned.
Yeah.
I would test every bobbin before you sew with it.
But this is a tool, and because you can actually adjust.
It lets you adjust the bobbin tension.
Oh, you know what? I don't think I had this in here.
I was going to say because the bobbin should have been okay.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, now it's yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Because you have access to the tension screw right here.
Right.
Right there.
And Bernina gives you a permission to do that.
I know that's and then you have a little thread cutter to get rid of all this extra thread, and now it's ready to go back in.
Okay.
Except for when I take the bobbin out.
All right. Any other questions? It looks like we answered most of the questions. We're going to post this on our YouTube channel. Does that tool work? Yes, it does definitely work. No, it doesn't. You don't use it on your sewing machine, domestic machine, only on the Q20, Q16. Not sure, just that's what they tell us.
They have different settings.
Different settings, domestic.
This has, because of the speed, it has a much different setting than your domestic. Your domestic will not go over 1,100 stitches per minute, and this can go up to 2,200 stitches per minute. So that has to be a different system.
Okay. All right.
It's very close, but it's different.
Okay, got it. That makes sense. All right. Artistic Artifacts, BERNINA Sewing Machine. We are so lucky to have our own BERNINA Ambassador, Kathy Lincoln. Thank you so much. Let us know if you have any other questions, and I have Q16 sitting in the warehouse waiting for a new home. Just let us know how we can make that happen. Thank you. Contact us, sales@artisticartifacts.com, our website, artisticartifacts.com, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest. Okay, I think I got it all. All right, thanks for joining us, everybody. Bye.